Well, g'day, it's Jonathon and Trey from OzFish Unlimited, and we're gearing up for a bit of a Australian bass session in the Clarence catchment here today. We're going to go for a bit of a walk downstream with nothing but a backpack and a couple rods. So we thought we'd run you through a few tips for getting yourself geared up this summer if you want to tangle with arguably one of Australia's favourite native and sport fish. So, Trey, when it comes to tips for targeting bass, you've got some top water lures in your hand.
Yeah, mate.
What's the theory behind that?
So pretty much the low light periods, we're talking early morning, late afternoons.
Yep.
A lot of the insects and bugs, they'll come to the surface and the natives will come and feed on those ones. So a few profiles to consider when gearing up. One would be a stick bait, surf stick bait. You know, you're imitating sort of like maybe a small fish or a lizard
or something
anything like that.
Across.
Very aggressive. They do.
That's interesting. What's that? That's like a cicada, man.
So yeah, we're talking insect patterns in the summer. You get in Australia, obviously you got a lot of cicadas. They fall onto the water, and that's what you're imitating there. So it's a bug pattern. The strike is awesome. It's pretty much the way to target them.
And when you look at something like that, and we talk of what we do at OzFish, and that's replanting trees and riparian vegetation. If we plant a tree, right, Trey, in a few years that's going to grow. Insects like this is what those trees attract.
They call it home.
Yeah, they fall out of the tree, hit the surface. So that's why we throw, even though you look at that and you go, that doesn't swim in the water, but it's still got its place when targeting bass. And the last one is a bit of a popper.
Yeah, a bit of a popper, a bit more of a traditional method of targeting them. Look, it just makes a little splash on the top of the water, same sort of thing. You're just imitating an insect, but the strikes are super aggressive, and it's
a bit of a reaction bite, really. Isn't
Very
it?
much
like
so.
Trying to knock who's home type of thing.
Very much so. And if you get one on the surface, it's often very exciting as well.
The other option is subsurface. So what I've got here is like a little paddle tail soft plastic. So I've got that on a 1/8 of an ounce jig head. You can go right up to a 1/12 of an ounce jig head if you're fishing really shallow water, but you can go up to a 1/4 too if you're in a nice hole. There's a few holes behind us. One down here that I kind of want to go fish. But the idea behind this is cast it into a snag as close as you can. Let it sink down in the water column, which is the advantage of fishing with a soft plastic as opposed to a hard body, and then slowly wind it back. The slower you can wind your lure, probably the better chance.
Yeah, definitely with the natives, I think. Yeah.
Now, of course, when we're packing our bag, the final thing that we're going to include is a few essentials. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So what we've got here is, in the days of catch and release, gone are the days when we use lip grips. You don't want to pierce the mouth of the fish, and also we're not taking and killing any of these beautiful native fish. So there's a few essentials. The first is a fish handling glove.
Yeah, very important. Obviously, you generally don't want to take a lot of slime off the fish if you can. So handling with a glove, you don't damage the scales as much, and you're not actually affecting the fish's.
Bass are pretty good because you can get your thumb in there, give it a nice tight grip, and then support the belly, the weight of the fish with the belly. Yep. This is another handy little contraption. It's a brag rag. It's actually an OzFish one that you got if you renewed your membership, but there's plenty on the market. And the idea behind this is you wet it in the water, and instead of handling that fish with your hands and potentially getting a spike from the gill rakers or taking the slime off, you can wet this and then handle your fish with that. And the beauty about this one is it's got a measuring mat on it, so you can get a measure, take a quick photo, and release that bass back into the water. So this summer, coming into a fantastic period to go chase an Aussie bass, pack a backpack, couple rods each. I've got a 2 to 4 kilo. You've got a 1 to 3 with a bit of 10-pound braid. It's as simple as that.
Leader, couple of lures, and get on
ready
foot.
to go. Sounds good. We're going to head down the river, and hopefully we can catch a fish.
Let's go.